Crying at movies. What movies have you cried at? Or none? Some people get like, I
laughed. I laughed at
I ain't fucking crying. People get like really protective about it. Hey, I welcome it.
Yeah.
Let me experience every emotion. Let me hurt. Let me cry. Let me get mad.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I openly welcome it. I'll get the ball rolling. Think about it. I mean, Up had the opening was very whatever. Mm-hmm. Up there, and also in the last act too, when he kind of like has his realizations and stuff. That got me too.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is really good. A little uneven. That I think keeps it from being the best of Pixar, whatever. But I still think it hits some great notes.
The end of Toy Story 3, definitely.
End of Toy Story 3. That movie fucks me up. Especially too, it's going to sound especially whack.
Yeah.
It's an emotional ending no matter how you look at it. Just because it's those characters and what's happening with them. But there, for me also, like I've had a lifelong relationship with toys. I love collecting toys and having that additional layer of like that side to it. It was extra affecting to me.
Yeah.
And that it's rare. I will get, I've said this before, but I'm really emotionally or mentally, whatever you want to say, gullible. When it comes to entertainment, I really surrender myself to it. And that's like I'll ride like fucking, like when the new Star Tours came out, it was rough for me because my brain goes, this is real. And I have to like get into it and go, it's not, stop. Yeah. It's not, you're not following. Okay. And then it's fine. Yeah. But my brain is really, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absorbing of those things. When I first go on rides, I get really scared because we're in an area. Oh, it's a ride. Yeah. It's like I have to have that moment of like, I'm just gullible in that way. And so for me, so when I watch stuff like that, I get really affected by it. Where was I going with that? What was I talking about?
Crying at movies.
Yes. So Toy Story. Oh, so anyway, a lot of movies choke me up. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of movies that get me to that like, well, I'm getting choked up. But I will say rare that I actually, I'm fucking crying. Yeah. Crying. Toy Story got me to actually. Yeah. That was an example where it was like, I'm actually, tears are actually running down my face. Yeah. That's rare that an actual movie, a movie actually gets me to that point. I can see that. Choked up, that's not uncommon for me. But anyway, so that was one that actually got me cry. I Gotta Be Real, La La Land. Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. But some shit in that movie. I don't know if I was actually running, running, but like hard choked up. Like wow. I'm at the brink of actually like it I don't know. There was something about it. I don't want to go into it, but that it was that kind of, there's certain things that get me more than others. And I think it's kind of situations that are, if a character dies in a movie, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. It'll get me choked up and it won't make me cry because it's a character. Yeah. It's whatever. But it's stuff about, it's kind of bittersweet things that get me to cry. Yeah. Toy Story was that. It was a new generation is getting this, but it's kind of that like, it's I guess you could say nostalgic. It's memories. It's like, this is my favorite memory and now it's over. Like that kind of bittersweet curse. Mm-hmm. That's what gets me. And La La Land has that kind of thing in it where it's like, you know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. It's just, oh wow, that's it. Okay, yeah, it's like no one gets fucking shot in the head in that movie or anything. Yeah. Sorry if that's a spoiler, no one gets shot in the head. Fuck. But so Titanic really chokes me up. But I won't cry. It's like, don't let go. Oh, man. But I won't actually cry because it's just a character in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Ryan brought up a good one. We all saw it together, War Horse. I got choked up at War Horse.
I got choked up.
Really choked up at War Horse.
That's a movie that I wanted to buy after it came out. And they like never got their shit together. It came out, Blu-ray was still new. Yeah. And it came out as like in a regular DVD case. Yeah, it's DVD and Blu-ray. And it was like, Oh, and so like stores charged more for it, so it was like $34.95. I was like, well, I'm not paying
It's
that.
probably cheap now.
And then
Yeah.
but then it like went out of print, and now it's like gone. And it's like,
really? That's a great movie.
yeah, I would love to buy
great.
that. That's an underrated movie. No one ever brings that
Warhorse
up. Did you ever see
awesome.
Who was in that movie? No, I didn't see it.
It's
I don't even remember that movie.
nobody super famous
Yeah.
is in that movie.
It was a Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
about like
It came out like last year or 2 years
No,
ago?
it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Lincoln?
Yes, before Lincoln.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was a movie that I remember remember watching and being like, whoa, this movie's great. And then I started it again and I'm like, I don't want to see this again.
I love it and I appreciate it. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Constant rewatches, maybe not so much. Yeah,
No,
but I appreciate its
Yeah.
existence.
Mhm.
I think a game that made me cry, Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal
3.
Gear Solid 3. At that ending when he's like when you're realizing through his monologue and through Big Boss's monologue what was going on. And like I mean
Wait,
it took me
Yes, I've beaten them all.
yeah, it took me like 2 or 3
I figured, but
playthroughs to really understand it because there's always so much in that story, but like it always gets me.
Metal Gear is a great series, but it's always I don't intend this as an insult.
Yeah.
They're immature, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. No. They are heightened. You know, they are okay. It's really well written espionage, but then they'll still grab someone by the crotch. You know, it's like they're still fun, kind of goofy video games. I didn't expect an ending so mature for 3. 3 ended, and it was like my mouth was, wow. This and I didn't cry, but I was choked up.
Yeah.
When I beat 4 first.
I was gonna say I got choked up at 4.
That was emotional to me, but I didn't feel a lot
because that was the first time you played.
Exactly.
This
and then
is a character I've played so much of, and it's like
when
you get to the end, he's just like it's just like you get really really attached to this character throughout the years, and it's like fuck.
When I replayed them, I got very choked up at 4.
Yeah. I'd like to replay 4. But
yeah,
I replayed all of them before 5 came out, and that was the best. That I loved playing all of them in chronological order, not chronological order release, and right before 5 came out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, that did affect me when I replayed it, but the first time I played 3, was just all about sacrifice and what you do for your and then what they did to him and. Oh man, fuck, that got me.
Yeah.
And also, this sounds so goofy. I have such a soft spot for something I love in media is extreme long-term callbacks. And anybody could do a callback here's a callback to the thing we did an episode ago. Here's the thing that we, you could do references. But when you really pull some shit in that from 30 years ago. That's why I was honestly so affected by, I know Star Wars is in every fucking thing ever. But I was affected seeing Force Awakens. To me, it's not just callbacks to shit from a year ago. It's stuff that's like, shit, this hasn't been around in 30 years. It's a little different because the prequels have existed, so whatever.
Yeah.
But what really affected me was like Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
These characters have been in a fucking dusty cardboard box for 28 years.
Yeah.
And here they are. They're still here.
Yeah.
That there's the point in the movie where he goes to a flashback and that plays this sad music about when he created the new grid and you know what I'm talking about, where things went wrong. And you see the old Tron in it, and you see that got me because it was just like, here are these characters that have made people happy that have been nowhere for 30 years.
Yeah.
And it was emotional to me. I think if you don't have that emotional side, I know a lot of people who hate on that movie. If maybe you didn't have that connection, it wasn't as strong to you. But for me, I was just like, wow. It's like digging up a grave. It's something that you didn't think was there,
Yeah.
And so what I was going to say, what was I going to say about Metal Gear Solid 3 affected me also as well, because even though Metal Gear was never like my favorite series to that point, now it is.
Yeah.
But to that point, it was still new to me. That ending is my favorite ending to a game ever, I think.
Yeah.
For that reason, it was emotional. Look at what the boss did and what you went through, and and then it starts to turn and twist into, and look at the fucked up stuff around it, and look how they fucked with you. And then he doesn't shake the guy's hand whoa.
Yeah.
And he walks away. And then the timeline, outer heaven is created.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. Not only was it emotional, we just got the backstory from a villain from an NES game in fucking 1987.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like a fucking 20-year-old game. And you just got the backstory of some little nothing villain in an NES game you had on your shelf that your dad probably bought you in the 80s.
That literally had the name of every main boss in any game you played at that time. You called him the Big Boss.
Yeah, Big Boss.
Yep.
And you just got their fucking story.
Which is...
that. So not only was it emotional already because it was a good story, but you got that. I mean, that was the history of a villain from I know it's an MSX game, but here it was an NES game.
Yeah.
That just floored me. That was just like, well, that did everything I want a story to do. 10 out of 10. You know, so that's my connection to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, other movies, things that got me choked up or to cry. I'm trying to think of, honestly, of another thing that actually made, tears are running. I can't think of anything other than Toy Story.
For me, it was the end of Return of the King in the coronation scene.
Oh, fuck yeah, absolutely. When
Aragorn gets, he becomes the king.
Yeah.
And then he walks up to the four hobbits and is like, they go to bow. And he's like, my friends, you bow to no one. And then he bows and everybody bows. I'm like, that right there is like that higher level we were talking about, like friendship, respect, where you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a long hug with your friend at his wedding, because it's like, hey, we're still friends from today to tomorrow to whatever ends up happening down the line. But like, it's almost like the best time to tell them.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he did that in the world of men, these people who are so much smaller, understanding the whole story and everything that I cared about it, fucking got me, like gets me every single time. I have to, like, whenever I'm watching it with somebody, I'm just like, okay, please don't look at me during this scene.
Yeah. Right when you brought up Return of the King, I was about to say you bow to no one. That was, and it's funny because there isn't even one thing in the Return of the King ending that gets me. Return of the King is a barrage of things.
Yeah.
It by quantity, it gets me. Oh, they're about to throw the thing into the mountain. No, he's not going to. No, he is. Oh, they're dead. No, they're rescued. Oh, God. Oh, it's going to end here. They're not. They're all together. Seriously, there's 80, and people give that movie shit for having 80 endings. Hey, fucking give me 1,000 endings. Yeah. Every one of them was just, oh my God. And he's in bed and they jump in the bed with him. And it's gonna end there. Man, I'm almost going to cry. And then you better know it. But even before all that, the thing that I think sets me up to cry, and then I actually cried during You Bow to No One, but the thing that actually sets me up, it's a forgotten moment in that movie. People never bring it up. But what raises the tears is they are finally getting to Mount Doom. They're finally up there. And then Aragorn and the whole fucking army show up to the gates of Mordor. You're fucked. You're not going to win. All we can hope to be is a diversion. So that the gates of Mordor open, they fight us, and they're not focused on those two hobbits about to drop those. All they have to do is drop a ring in the lava up there. We need to unleash hell. Even if we die, it's worth it so they can drop that thing in the fucking lava. And they get there, and there's no chance of survival. The army is 10 times bigger than them. They're all gonna die. It's a time for tears, and they don't. Aragorn turns around and smiles at all of them. The volume fucking drops. For Frodo. Da, 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 and they all charge forward, and that music kicks in. Oh, fuck
so fucking cool.
Yeah. That's one of the I think that might be the best directed moment in all of them, is when that fucking volume drop. I just remember sitting in the theater and they lowered the volume. I'm like, someone's going to say something that makes me cry here. It's like you could hear the volume drop, and it was like they're going to pierce it with and he goes for Frodo. And they charge forward, and not only do they charge forward, the hobbits, the most useless fucking people in that whole army, are the first to charge. That's what it's come to. We're in. We'll die. Doesn't matter. Let us die. We're going in. That is so effectively done.
I need to watch those movies.
I was around the holidays. I was like, why am I not popping that in?
Yeah.
I've been
Come over.
seriously.
I'll watch it anytime. I just watched Lord of the Rings 2 weeks ago. Like
awesome.
Fellowship of the Ring. I'll watch it again.
Awesome.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Andrew, my roommate and I will just put that shit on like whenever.
It's still weird to me though, personally. Return of the King is my favorite for everything I just said.
I mean, it won Best Picture.
Yeah, but it's funny because I still, at any given point, people will still tell me, "Nah, Two Towers is still the best," and I'm just like, man, I don't know. Return of the King fucking grabbed me by the legs and shook the tears out of me. Like, I think Return of the King is by far the payoff to all of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Two Towers. I mean, there's good stuff, but I thought like Two Towers was kind of the. I'm not even saying it dragged like it was bad, but kind of almost the transition.
Mm-hmm.
There's great stuff in it, but Two Towers is not my favorite. I would not say personally.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would say Two Towers is their like favorite because of all the big battle scenes and all like the action.
Sure.
I still really like Fellowship. I don't know if it's my favorite, but like,
no, not my favorite, but
I loved getting to know more about that world because there was so much effort put into making it.
The detail of Fellowship is so well done.
And so I always appreciated that movie as like it's like I don't know, it's the only movie that's like fun in terms of like the mood.
A good blend of dark and fun.
Yeah. It's like lighthearted in a certain way, and it has like Gandalf turning around and hitting his head at the beginning of the movie, and everybody always laughs at that scene. Everything else after that is just difficult, emotionally, which is cool.
Yes. But it's never that again.
Yeah.
The Fellowship breaks and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst thing you get in that movie is Boromir.
Yeah.
And that was like, that sucked, whatever. But like, there were some scenes in that almost made me cry. Like when Sam swims out to Frodo in the boat, and he's like, I made a promise that I would stay by with you, and I don't intend to break it. Like that part is like, I feel like that movie talks about the theme of that movie that a lot of people don't understand, that doesn't shine as much as I would like it to, is like the bond that they have. Yeah. Those two, and then the Fellowship. Yeah. Entirely like you see it at the end of the movie in the payoff of You Bow to No One. Yeah. The mutual respect that, a 3.5 foot halfling could have for a king that's 6'5". Yeah. But like you really get to see that these people are devoted to being like good to each other and caring about each other, even if that means we have to split from them. Like Aragorn understands in that scene, like, and so does Legolas. We can't follow him. Yeah. Because we're as much of a threat to him as anybody else. Yeah. As Boromir was. Yeah. And he died to save Frodo. To give him the
Let's learn from that kind of.
Exactly. So you see that like understanding, and I always think that that's such a cool message to get across in that movie that I don't think a lot of people really pay attention to. Yeah. And they even say it in the movie, like Gimli, the least bright of the three, goes, so it was all for naught. And they go, no, we can go and fight for him to support him in the meantime, and then literally at the end being the diversion to help him get the ring to Mount Doom. So I think that movie has a lot of themes that people are just like, oh, it's slow. It's like there's so much they have to set up.
And I will say this, as I have gotten older, I mean, I felt kind of that way in a minimal amount, but now especially, slow is no longer an obstacle for me. For me, let it be slow. If it's good, let it be slow. Yeah. It used to be things were too slow, I couldn't enjoy them. Yeah. I'm over that. Like to me, it's like let things be a slow burn. Oh yeah. If it's good, it's a slow burn. Great. I'm fine with that. Things can only be boring to me if they are not relatable. Yeah. If it's slow and I also can't understand why people are doing what they're doing, that's boring. Yeah. If it's slow but it's to me the best example, The Godfather. Oh, they're slow, they're such a shit is going wrong here. Yeah. And maybe even within the family. Yeah. Well, no one in the family would do something to someone else. Like what a horrible feeling that your own family member might have done something to you or whatever. So that's something, it's slow, but what a that, you know what I mean? Like there's something, you know, that's something that's really like, that's relatable. So, hey, let it be slow. I want to see where this burns, you know?